Hi, I'm Nathan, and you're listening to the Queer Conscious Podcast. What if flirting wasn't just a way to get somebody's number, but if it was a way to help us heal, to connect, and to fall in love with life again? In today's episode, I'm joined by flirt coach and gay Libra, Benjamin Camras, and we're talking about all the challenges of flirting within the gay community. From rejection sensitivity to misreading signals to maybe reading them a little too well. But more importantly, we talk about how flirting can be a way for queer people to reclaim joy, confidence, and embodiment. So if you've ever felt awkward, anxious, or like you have to be a perfect 10 in order to get somebody's number, we are here to remind you that it's not that serious. And funny enough, you may or may not get a live demonstration of flirting as Benjamin and I follow our yearning little hearts into the sexy territories of city planning, professional growth, and what it means to be dating within larger political systems. Because it's hot. So whether you're single, partnered, or you're just getting out of bed, get ready to be inspired to get your flirt on. Hi, Benjamin. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello, Nathan. Thank you for having me on the Queer Conscious Podcast. I'm delighted to be here with you and all of your listeners.
Of course. I know you are a gay Libra and a flirt coach. What can you tell us, tell our audience about you? Who are you?
Right. Oh my gosh, where do I even start? What gave away the gay? What gave away the Libra? What gave away the flirting, Nathan? What was the tell? Oh.
I watch your TikTok videos. That's it.
Oh, yeah. I open every video that way. I forgot. How did I get started in this?
Yeah.
I like this question because I honestly answer it differently every single time. Like that's the type of person I am on an interview or in a conversation. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to give you just like, I don't know, because I'm feeling different every single day. But my background was in city planning. I did that for over 10 years. I followed that traditional path that I feel like a lot of gay men, a lot of queer people follow, where because I'm going to be 40 this year, so definitely in that millennial demographic, and it was a different time not that long ago. And I know a lot of people listening aren't out, or maybe they are listening in places, they're in families, they're in I don't know, communities, cities, just wherever they may be living, cultures where we still have a long way to go, right? But I'm encouraged by how early people are starting to come out, even where I live in North Carolina, trying out different pronouns, things like that. So things are shifting and changing a little bit, which I'm encouraged about. But where I was going with this was I had the experience a lot of gay people have, queer people have, of let me just produce, let me just exceed, let me overachieve, let me follow the path, right? Let me do the quote unquote right thing.
Are you in my brain right now?
I mean, we share a lot of similarities. I know we all do. And so that was the path I took. And I was always interested in geography and cities and sociology. And so I wasn't wrong in pursuing that. And I was on the right path for me for a while, even though it felt not. I always had something else within me I wanted to explore, a creative potential, a different talent or skill, something. And so when it came down to it in the thick of the pandemic, when all of us were like, what the F is going on? What is life? What are we going to do? We're just at home. A lot of us. I, had a lot of time to think, process, was definitely in my dark night of the soul journey of that hero's journey arc, which I think we all go through multiple times throughout our lives, and just questioning like, what's next? What am I going to do? Because I hadn't been fulfilled, happy, content, none of that for a long time, even though I enjoyed city planning and geography and that work. It just didn't.
And so flirting was the thing.
Well, I mean, it was like, what's next? This is a really long-winded answer to say I took to social media. I pursued some coaching certifications during the pandemic when we were at home and starting to work from home, and I had more time. And I just kept following that interest, that breadcrumb trail of where could this go? And just through trial and error, making different videos, trying different things. I made a video about flirting on TikTok almost 3 years ago, and didn't do numbers. I mean, it was a video really no one will remember except for me. But it was the first video I ever made where I was getting some of those comments like, this is so me, right? I feel seen. Yes, I relate to this. First time I ever got as a creator on this side of the camera, or, on social media, on the side of the camera that I'm on, the first time I ever got those comments that were very validating. And so I knew that was the direction to go.
I am so glad because I mean, I knew as a fellow air sign, like
Mm,
flirting comes very naturally to me, but
mm-hmm,
teaching it is a whole different thing. And so it's
mm,
like, I need to have you on. But
mm.
I also worked on the planning commission before going into coaching, or I was
What?
appointed on the planning commission. So
Oh
I
my
was into
God.
environmental studies, and anyways, I'm
Yeah.
just seeing all these similarities now in our paths, which is
Oh
really
my
fun.
God. Not the
So,
PC, not the
oh
planning
yeah, I
commission.
hated it. I hated it.
Were they a
No,
rowdy
no, it was
bunch?
nice.
Did
It
they
was nice.
behave, Nathan?
We did behave. It was also
Uh-huh.
during the pandemic, and I was like,
Mm,
I love this and hate this simultaneously. Thus, coaching followed, and I
yeah.
jumped in full time. So,
Yeah.
but
Mm,
I have a question for you. Like with
mm-hmm.
flirting, like what
Mm-hmm.
is the most absurd pickup line that you've used that's actually worked for you?
Oh my gosh, I feel like all of mine are absurd, Nathan. Like, I
Wait, explain
mean,
this.
I'm just trying to like I do this thing. I'm thinking like this thing I do like at the store sometimes. I work part-time at Trader Joe's while we're building the whole Flirt dream mission, all that good stuff, right? Got to pay the bills. And
Yeah.
so I do this thing where like I stem with my gloves. And so I'll just like slip them off a little bit where the fingers are loose. Like think about that scene and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have no idea what the movie was about, but the sausage finger scene, you
Yes.
know? And I will just slap like the fingers of my gloves together and just like, oh my God, look at me, right? Do you do weird stuff too? And of course, people are like, what the, okay, this is maybe a little odd, but everyone has weird habits. Everyone has a stem or two. Yeah, I'd say
Oh
that's
my God.
odd.
Okay, so this is kind of relieving, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe especially for our audience, because I think the fear when it comes to flirting is like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm going to do something
Oh my God.
stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do I get someone's attention? And like, because you don't want to get rejected, right?
Mm,
That's, not a fun feeling.
sure.
So, what do you tell someone who's afraid to let their weird side out when talking to people or strangers?
Mm. I think there's a couple of questions I'm hearing here. One is like the fear of being seen. If you are kind of that more quote unquote like weird, awkward kind of person or flirt, and then the other side, the other version, like take on this fear is what if I get rejected? What if I put myself out there? What if I allow myself to be weird, to be seen, to flirt, to whatever, to connect, and then it wasn't received the way I intended, or I get rejected, or maybe I had an intention to explore attraction, romantic interest, or wanting a number, a social, a date, something like that, and it's not received in that way. Well, then you're going to experience a rejection in really two ways. You're perhaps rejecting yourself by not even giving yourself a chance, or maybe you are self-sabotaging, you're being critical, you're being judgmental. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. That didn't go right. I want a second chance. Did they even know I was flirting? Did I do that right? And so you're rejecting yourself in this process before the other person perhaps even gets a chance to reject you. And I mean, reject is such a hard word. I mean, it's got that J and a T in it, which are very hard
They are
consonants.
very, very uncomfortable
God,
letters, aren't
I
they?
can't stand the word rejection. But it's really about choice. Like I like to frame it as choice. You're making a choice to flirt, which is ultimately just about connection. I say it's the art style practice of connection through conversation, through storytelling, through observation, through energy, through compliments, just through letting yourself be seen, letting yourself be you. So make the choice to do that. No judgment, no criticism, no self sabotage. You're going to do it, but I'm going to say don't do it until one day you just don't, or you still do, but you're like, that was interesting. I'm okay with that. And then the other person, of course, gets to make a choice as well. Maybe they flirt back. Maybe they don't. Maybe they weren't in a mindset to flirt. Maybe they're taken. Maybe they're straight. God forbid, Nathan. Like,
Right. But hold
ew.
on. I wanna stop for a second because that part that people are rejecting themselves before they even give
Yes.
themselves an opportunity to be rejected
Hmm.
is so real, and
Hmm.
I think it happens all the time with
Hmm.
my clients, probably with your clients, just in the world in general.
Hmm.
And so what is that process then to stop rejecting yourself? Like, what does that look like for in your work?
Mm. I think it's like think about those. And I mean, one way to answer this is think about those times when you have offered connection, right? It's really an offer. It's a bid, right? It's just saying like, hey, I see you, right? How are you? My name is kind of thing. If this is someone you don't know, and think about those instances in those social situations, maybe with friends, it could be with family, it could be with coworkers, neighbors, even just like out running errands where maybe the stakes seem low, or you're in a setting, you're in a situation that's more familiar to you, you're more comfortable, maybe you're with some friends, or like, you have some familiarity with already the people you're associating or perhaps going to be flirting with. Would you consider some of those situations flirting? Perhaps not. Perhaps not, but you can replicate and really bring a lot of that experience and that energy into the other flirts you're going to have. And one thing that trips a lot of flirters and daters up is when they are experiencing physical attraction. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, how do I do this? I've never done this before. I can't even talk. What's my name? Where am I? I'm hot. I'm flustered. I've always said the hot guy is just a dude. Get over it. The hot person is just that. They're just someone that you perceive as physically attractive, and that is it.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
what is that line then between, the connection that you feel with your friends and your family and you're like having a good time embracing that connection, and then the line between feeling that connection and someone, you're attracted to?
Yeah, a little bit to what we were talking about earlier of allowing yourself to be seen. This is such a huge part of the flirt that goes both ways. Like what I find sometimes, and this particularly I think is true with a lot of anxious flirters and daters, perhaps people on the neurodivergent spectrum that are flirting and dating, where they may be okay giving a compliment. They may be okay initiating a flirt. That may be the part that comes a little bit more naturally to them. But then
Mhm.
it's when that gets turned back around and now the spotlight is on them. Now someone offers them a compliment, or maybe someone tries to initiate a flirt, a connection with them. And so that's maybe where some of that discomfort, some of that anxiety comes into play. And when you're in a more familiar situation, maybe let's say with friends or at a party, a get together, a drag brunch, whatever, when you're with your group, you're not really worried about being seen. You're not really worried or thinking too much about being just you. You're more so in the moment. Not all the time. I mean, especially if you are more on the introverted side, you have a lot of social anxiety, even if you're with a friend group or even just one person, you still may be kind of hyper aware of you, of your surroundings, of other people. I get that. But there's, I hope, a level of just ease in that experience where you're more so in the moment and less so thinking about what's going to happen next, what's going on with my hair or my face, right? You're not
Yeah.
so hyper aware as you may be in a flirt, especially a flirt where there's some attraction. Yeah.
Because there's so much at stake, I think, for some people because
Mm,
they're in their head. But
hmm.
once you get out of it, like for instance, when you're at the cash register with your fingers slipping out of your glove and you're like doing your
Yeah.
thing,
Hmm.
right? I imagine that that's more of an embodied experience. Like I find it really easy to flirt at the dog park when I'm there with my dog, and I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
hey, how's your dog? I don't care really, but I'm gonna go talk to the cute guy. Yes, I'm gonna have a
Sure.
conversation with him. But I could care less what happens after that, I'm just
Right.
there's no attachment there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little bit lower stakes because there's that non-attachment to the outcome, to the experience, that expectation of this has to end in this XYZ result, or otherwise it was bad, it wasn't good, it was a failure. Nah, you're more so just in the moment. I love that.
And how do you teach people to, like, get into their bodies like that? Or is it just, like, trial and error, just keep doing it until you get used to it, or
It's partly trial and error. I mean, I'm also a yoga teacher. Nathan, did you know that?
I'm also a yoga teacher, stop.
Why aren't we dating, Nathan?
Oh my
We have
gosh,
so
is
much
this
in common.
I mean, I think we should maybe.
Planning
Are
and a
you
yoga
flirting with me?
teacher? Yes, shamelessly on your own podcast.
Well, alright.
What kind of yoga do you teach?
I teach hatha yoga, but it's like Ashtanga based. Yeah. How
Oh
about
my
you?
God. Chaturangas.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Left
But I
and
hurt my
right.
shoulder recently, so I'm taking a
Oh,
break. It's not fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe no demoing, or yeah, a little break from yoga as well. I teach, I'm a little bit of the opposite, to be honest. I'm more of a gentle, slow flow, restorative yoga teacher, bringing in some breath work. I will cue flows. So, right, your chaturanga, up dog, down dog kind of thing. Yeah, I'm going to give the people some foundational yoga sequences, sun A's, sun B's, some warrior twos, but we're also going to spend a lot of time on the mat. We're going to be stretching. I really like to focus on foundations, on alignment. I cue with a lot of props, blocks, straps,
See, had I gotten
bolsters.
that, I probably wouldn't have hurt my shoulder. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I gotta recognize the people that are coming to my classes. Like I'm thinking of my Tuesday morning class that's at a gym. It's the average age is over 60,
Mm.
and I want them to. I want to set my students up for success. I want them to keep coming back. I want it to be a practice that's accessible to them, so they feel good about it, right? You don't want to leave a yoga class and be like, God, I couldn't do that, or like, oh, I wasn't good at that. Like that was me for the longest time. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my style of teaching. And now I'm just
Yeah.
thinking about yoga.
No, and so, but I mean, you brought that up because of how you teach people to
Be
flirt and to
embodied. Yeah.
be embodied, and so that makes perfect sense because yoga is embodiment, and then how do you
Yep.
bring that energy now into the flirting scene, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I'll offer my official flirt definition, which I just completely made up, by the way. It's I say the flirt is that authentic practice of connection in the present moment without expectations, and that it comes from the yamas and niyamas, right? That comes right from my yoga teacher training and yoga philosophy, from the Yoga Sutras. That's where it
so
comes
this is
from.
Flirt Sutra. This is this is a
Absolutely. Yeah. People don't know that really a lot of my flirt frameworks and a lot of my coaching and flirt philosophy is rooted in yoga. Like, because when I was very much lost and on that, hero's journey and that dark night of the soul, and we're looking for guidance, we're looking for answers. You're throwing your hands up at the universe, like, just like, why? What's wrong with me? Like, what's my purpose? Why am I here? Yeah, we all ask those questions. And I think you have to look outside yourself for those answers. And for me, yoga wasn't a solution, but it offered me a blueprint. It offered me a guide. It offered me a place to go to when I have those questions. And so, even as it relates to flirting, like to answer your question specifically, how do I help people become more embodied in the flirt? It's really about being in that moment, right? Because we've all experienced rejection. We've all been hurt. We've all had our heart broken. We've all probably been judged for the way we look, for the way we dress, especially as gay people, queer people, right? If you're trans, if you're playing maybe with different silhouettes, with shapes, you're transitioning and shapes. I really meaning like shapes of clothing, silhouettes, that kind of thing. Or you're going through a true physical transformation, you may feel very uncomfortable in your body, especially if you live somewhere where you're the only person that looks like you, or that you're the only person going through that experience. And so I'm glad we can have podcasts and online forums and social media and Reddit and Discord and all the places where we can at least connect with people that are having like experiences. Because when we can feel validated and just safe in our own lived experiences, it brings just some more freedom and some more fluidity, right? And just less,
100%.
yeah, just less, we
Yeah.
feel less confined and less constrained, less trapped. And
Yeah.
so but why being in the present moment is so important is because if you've experienced rejection, right? If you've been judged or turned down, you might be thinking of that when you're flirting. Or if you're going into the future, you're like, oh, this has to end in a phone number or a date, or it's a,
So many bad things happen in the
yeah,
future. Like,
oh
get
my
out of there. What are
gosh.
you doing?
Yes, yes. Come back to the moment, be
Yeah.
weird, stem, and flirt. Yeah.
Right.
I
I love that
mean,
you're giving people permission to stem, right? It's not a bad thing. Like like let
we
yourself
all
do
do
it.
it. We
Yes,
all do it. I mean, the
we
vocal
do.
stems that live rent free in my mind are uh, some people carry facts up there. Not me.
No. See,
Not me.
my stem I feel like is just more intense flirting. Like I just
Mm.
giggle and my face turns red. I'm like,
Mm. See, that's
and it's really
cute.
interesting. I
Yeah.
think so. I've learned to embrace it. But there
Yeah.
are times I think with some natural flirts like that you don't want to mislead anyone. And
Of
actually,
course.
I know I saw a video. You're also demisexual, is that right?
I would say I definitely lean that way. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because I think for demisexuals, you want to flirt with guys, and especially in the gay community, if you start flirting, it's almost like there's an expectation, oh, you want to have sex with me. And it's
Yeah.
like, wait, no, I just want the number. So like how do you approach situations like that
Mm.
without giving mixed signals about what you want or about what you want and what you're looking for?
Yeah, there's a couple ways to think about this. I mean, I think it's one, we have to realize that someone may very reasonably develop expectations if you are being overly touchy. Maybe you're really playing in the physical dimension of the flirt. You're offering a lot of compliments, right? You're doing the gaze where you're looking them up and down and you're sort of lingering a little bit with your eye contact, right? On certain parts of the body, perhaps, or you're just holding the gaze very intently. So you pair that with a lot of physical flirting and you allude to things in the future like, oh, right, what are you doing this weekend? Or, oh, you free Friday night? Or like you mentioned something that you're doing, or like whatever. So you're playing in that space. Well, someone very reasonably may develop the expectation that you want to have sex with them. Like, right? Like,
Mhm.
we
Which will
can't just,
happen, right?
yes, we can't flirt like that and just absolve ourselves of all responsibility. Like, oh, just kidding. I was
Yes.
only flirting. Like, no, you knew what you were doing. Own it. Like, just own it.
Yeah.
But I don't exactly know how we got to this point where friendly and even flirting in a much more friendly, platonic, non-romantic, non-physical way is being correlated with like we want to have sex. I'm not quite sure how we go from like point A to point like XYZ so quickly, other than I think social media, dating apps, hookup culture, Grinder, Scruff, like Archer, all wherever you are, if you're on the apps, we have we've taken out so many steps, right?
Oh,
And we
yeah.
try and perhaps replicate an experience on Grinder or Scruff in person when that's like it's very weird. And I mean weird like in a relative way. It's a new phenomenon, I think, to right within an hour you could get on an app, be at some guy's house having sex and you don't even know their name.
It's so easy. It's so easy. They come to you,
That
right?
is not normal, Nathan. And I say normal
Yep.
very relatively. I'm not judging. Like I want to be very sex positive. But what think about everything that's missing in that. Think about all the things that are just being omitted from that practice of connection. You're connecting only on one thing, and that's sex, which is
Do you
fine.
think that's do you think culturally we've sort of accepted that as a gay community?
We have.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have. And I think that's deeply problematic. I think it plays you see it play out in dating all the time, right? As a demisexual, like one of my experiences, if I don't kiss you on a first date or I don't want to have sex with you by the second, third date, I get all the time, what are you not attracted to me? Do you not like me? Do you not think I'm hot?
Yeah.
Am I not going on dates with you?
Yeah.
Like
And so what is it for you? What makes you wait till the second, third, fourth date for any of that physical connection?
it's I have to, I mean as a demisexual, I have to have that emotional intimacy, that emotional connection before I even am able to kind of be in that space of being physically aroused. I could experience physical attraction. I could think someone is hot or cute or handsome for sure. I could see a picture and be like, "Wow, right? Yeah, he's good looking." But then be in a physical space with someone where clothes are coming off and like I don't know you, I'm not interested. That's a turn off for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm one of those people that asks, like, a billion questions, and people, like it freaks
Yeah.
people out. Like, the last guy I dated was like, "Nathan, I've never worked so hard for anybody." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, we're
What
just
does
having
that mean?
conversations. And
Right.
he's like, "You just asked me all these crazy questions, like, what do I wanna do in my life?" And I'm like, "Has nobody ever asked you this?"
Right.
It's so
That's
funny.
that's connection. That's dating. That's
Exactly.
how this works.
And is there something that you wish the gay community knew about demisexuals?
Hmm. I mean, I think there's just not a lot of awareness. I think it might be that we exist. And I think when you give terminology and even, I don't really like the word labels, but some type of just language and description to your own lived experiences. Like I interviewed a guy on my podcast, Dr. Joe Court, who coined the word side.
Mhm,
Like he
mhm.
invented the word side, right? So it hasn't even been around that long. And now if you're on a Grinder or Scruff, like you can list side
Oh,
as a
yeah.
sexual position. And that is, more so specific to gay men that enjoy more parallel sex, but non-insertive sex, right? Still tons of stuff you can do,
Oh, wow.
just
Yeah.
no insertion. And so for the longest time, like, I don't identify as a side, but in my demisexual journey, I was like, what's wrong with me? Right? Like, why can't I not jump to this right away? Why have I still feel like a little bit of an outcast where I've never had the bathhouse experience, right? I've never had the sauna experience, the gym locker room shower experience, the group
It's fine.
experience,
You don't need to
the
go there.
cruising
It's
experience,
okay.
the dark room experience, the bookstore experience. I've never done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be fun, it can be an exciting, but I
Yeah.
have a conspiracy theory that more gay men are demisexual than they realize.
I think so
I
too.
think the emotional intimacy scares a lot of gay men and queer
Yeah.
people. It's like to actually be seen as someone who has been rejected by society, by
Mhm.
their parents sometimes, by
Mhm.
family.
Mhm.
It's scary to
Mhm.
open up and want that emotional connection. And like you said,
Yeah.
it's so easy to just have the bathhouse experience or the
Yeah.
quick hookup experience that we don't take our time to really lean into that emotional connection.
Yeah.
But it sounds like something that you know you need and that you
Yeah.
give yourself permission to have.
Yeah. Because we still want connection. We're human beings. That's like it's an instinct. It's more than a craving. It's more than a want, need, a desire. It's biology, and so we're gonna get that connection in some way. And I think you're so right. It's that fear of emotional intimacy, of true vulnerability, just because we're bringing so many different experiences and stories and hurt and pain into the dating process. Maybe I could just not have to go there and just be physical with somebody. Yeah.
Is that why you like flirting so much?
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's one of the big reasons. I mean, also part of my story is, I mean, for the longest time, I was incredibly depressed, very anxious, and I still experience that from time to time. And I isolated and I withdrew and I didn't have friends. I didn't have relationships. I didn't date. And I would just, be on my phone or watching TV or watching movies or just observing people and being like, why can't I have what they have? Just going out and flirting or making connections, having friends, dating. Why is this so hard for me? I had to figure out how to connect with people in ways that felt comfortable, that felt safe, that felt like I could do this, um, and just allowed myself to be seen, to be me, which is a
And
little
what was
weird.
that shifted for you? What was it that shifted for you that allowed you to be like, I can be seen and not think
Mm.
it's weird?
I think like I've been playing with this concept on my podcast for, I don't know, a few episodes now, of like, in our hero's journey, like when we're going through the dark night of the soul, like is do we really have a rock bottom moment? I think we oftentimes hear about the rock bottom moment correlated with addiction, right? If you've watched shows like Intervention, which I used to watch all the time. Yeah, like, is there a rock bottom moment? Is there a moment where we maybe feel so lonely, we feel so sad and depressed, we have so much longing and yearning, we feel like so much is wrong, we have so much despair? Is there a rock bottom moment where things just can't get any lower? I'm not so sure. I think there's just the moment we decide to make a change, because I think things can get progressively worse and worse if we allow them to
Yeah.
be honest. There's just that moment you decide to make a change. And I just started to get really angry and frustrated with myself, where I did have people in my life, some friends and family that did believe in me, that did encourage me, that wanted to see me successful, whatever that looked like, just wanted to see me content and fulfilled living my life, right? And so I reached this point, like, this is not fair to them anymore to not believe in myself. So let me just try and see what happens. And it just started with some micro flirts, right? I love the micro flirt. It's you're out running errands, you're at the grocery store, you're at Trader Joe's, hold the door for someone, make eye contact, smile, wave, nod, offer a compliment, go on about your day. But just see how that exchange of energy, which is what it is, how that in that moment connection changes your day, changes your mindset, changes your attitude, and changes theirs.
Yeah.
Is it the kind of thing you're going to remember at the end of your life? or even like next week, maybe not. But in the moment, did it feel great? Yeah, I think it did.
Gosh. I always feel better after talking to strangers. Like that's
Yeah.
something that I've shifted this year. Is like I'm going to talk to people online. I'm going to
Yeah.
talk to people at the dog park. And I've made friends that way. And it's
Yeah.
even when I don't, I like leave
Yeah.
with like a pep in my step. Like I'm like a little
Totally.
happier. I'm like smiling on my way home. I feel like Mr. Rogers. Hello, neighbor.
Yeah.
It changes everything, and I know it does for them too.
Hmm.
But I want to go back just to the people that believe in you. Like when you have people that believe in you, even when you can't, like they are so important to have in your life. Like
Yeah.
lean on them. Like borrow their belief if you can't believe in yourself. Like it is
Yes.
so important.
Yes.
Uh,
It
but
is. It is.
back to flirting here. I've got a
Hmm.
question for you.
Okay.
I know we're
Let's
getting
get
all
back to
meta here. I
flirting.
love
Hmm.
this. I love
Hmm.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were flirting with me, and oh, I'm kidding. So,
I
um,
was, Nathan.
but how can you tell the difference between someone who has like genuine interest to you, like they're picking up what you're putting down,
Mm,
and someone who's just like being polite and they like want to get out of there? Like,
mm. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay, to
'cause
the latter part, like the person that's more so just sort of appeasing your flirt or like sort of appeasing your bid for connection, but like they kind of maybe couldn't care less or they're just disinterested, disengaged, something like that.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be very distracted. And so look at some of that eye contact, look at some of that body language. Does it seem like they're looking around? Are they looking at their phone? Are they pulling out their phone? Are they wearing a watch? Are they looking at their watch? Are they sort of shuffling their feet? Are they all of a sudden turning themselves, turning their shoulders, their hips away from you, kind of looking behind them? Are they offering very short replies, one word replies? Are they not engaging back in the sense that they're not asking you questions? They're not driving the conversation. If you're caught in this passive reciprocation trap in flirting where you're initiating, you're asking questions, you're really the one driving the conversation and all they're doing is responding, are they just anxious? Are they just shy? Are they more introverted? Are they in their head, unsure what to say or do? Possibly, but that paired with body language that really signals gotta go, then they're probably just not interested or just not in the space to receive a flirt in that moment. And that's okay. Maybe they got something to go or like somewhere to go or somewhere to be, or they're just distracted. They got something going on in their own life, in their mind. And that's okay. That's
Yeah, well,
okay.
I love that you said that they could not be interested, but they also could just not be in the headspace that day, right?
Totally. We
Maybe
never know
they
what
just
people are, yeah,
yeah. And
what people
so
are going
why do
through.
we always jump to the oh they're not interested in me. I'm ugly. Or they don't want anything to do with me. But it's like we have no idea what they went through that morning, right?
No, we don't. But like one reason I feel like we do that is because I'm sure we've had an experience where we were made to feel that way. Or we were flat out told that, right? Like you were at the gay club, the bar or something, and someone was like, ugh, you, right? Like, how dare you come up and flirt with me? Like, we've all encountered that person.
Oh yeah.
So we're bringing that experience into a flirt.
I'm curious. I mean, I imagine you've been flirted with out in public, right?
Well, you would be not a lot, Nathan.
What? That is
Yes,
surprising.
I
Well, I
am
guess
one of
North Carolina, maybe. Is that
um
why?
there's a fair amount of gays here. I mean, I feel like when I'm, like kind of in my roles, maybe at the store or as the flirt coach or teaching yoga, there's that professional boundary, so to speak. And so I get it in some of those instances. But when I'm just like out living my life, running errands, hanging out with friends, going to dinner, going to the movies, at the gym or something like that, I mean, I see this all across the board, across all genders, sexualities, doesn't matter. People aren't talking to one another. They're just not. They got their headphones in, they got their heads down, their phones are out. People aren't making connections. And I've seen lots of social media videos about like, oh, like if people aren't flirting with you, it's, for XYZ reasons. And I think ultimately I do have an air of confidence about me. I walk about the world very assertively.
Do you think that intimidates people?
I absolutely think it intimidates people. Yes.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
probably or they may be thinking, maybe he's taken, or he wouldn't flirt back with me, or like I'm just, I don't, he would reject me kind of thing. No, I
Well,
wouldn't.
I think that's such a sad thing that happens. Like, there's been guys that I'm like, oh, he's so confident, he wants nothing to do with him. But I've gone to flirt with them anyway because
Hmm.
I'm just like, I don't care who.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna give a compliment, and
Absolutely.
they are so nice and so
Yeah.
kind.
Hmm.
And even if they're not interested in me and want to do anything afterwards,
Sure.
it's still a fun experience, and but I'm genuinely surprised at how receptive it is, like flirting
Mhm.
in general. Like, who doesn't like to be flirted with?
Exactly.
I don't
It
know.
feels it just feels good. It's fun. And I've been listening to some interviews with different doctors and psychiatrists, psychologists that really focus on mindset and positive psychology, right? Like how we just can overall develop more optimism in our lives. And it's one way is flirting. It's connection. It's just the exchange of human energy. That's what this is. Yeah, and so if you came up in the wild in the world and just started talking to me, of course I would talk back to you. Like, ask anybody. I have never been too busy to not at least say thank you or not say hello or something.
Oh yeah. And but your observation of just people being on their phones with their headphones in, it's like I don't know what it is
Yeah.
about society. Maybe we're all jaded because of politics or like
Yeah,
the world state of the world, but we're all
sure.
just like on our phones. Um, but there are good people out there.
More often, I think most people are good people, at least the ones listening to your podcast.
I know. Oh yeah, for sure. And if not, they're becoming better. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
But um but the optimism, how do you maintain optimism? Because I find post 2020, I went into a dip and I was just
Mm,
like,
mm,
fuck the world, screw everybody, I hate everybody. I had to like train myself to fall in love with people again, with life
mm,
again. And
mhm.
it took some heavy lifting. I'm curious for you, how do you maintain optimism when things, don't seem very bright and optimistic in the world?
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to do right now, right? Not just with our
Oh, I thought you
political.
meant to be optimistic. It's like,
Oh, well, I
sorry.
mean, it's easy to be. I mean, the world is fairly doom and gloom right now. It's a really, really difficult time. And like I've always said, I know like dating coaches, like flirt coaches, aren't supposed to wade into the topic of politics and religion and some of these things, but like as if I've all like that's just how pr- anyway, I've always said like we live and date within systems, political systems, religious, economic, social, cultural. And so if you think the systems in which we live, in which we operate, in which we date don't impact the way we date, connect, and form relationships, you're either very naive, turning a blind eye to all of this, or very privileged. And maybe they don't impact you, but they certainly impact me, right? They impact you, they impact your listeners here because a lot of us are gay, we're queer. So of course they impact us. So how I feel like we stay optimistic is to flirt. I mean, I think we should do more of that, but I've just really I have a hard time answering this question because I mean, I was depressed for decades. Like I hated myself forever. So I'm like, what could I say to the person in that headspace that like is so far in the tunnel, it's so dark that they can't see the light on either end, you know? What do I say to that person? To that person, get out of bed, open the blinds, get some sunlight on your face, have a drink of water, put on a favorite show, a comfort show. For me, it's like some type of reality TV. Maybe it's Housewives, Atlanta or Salt Lake City. Maybe it's reruns of Will and Grace. I'm getting some of my favorite food. I'm ordering a pizza. I'm doing what I got to do to just find some joys in like the simple things. And what it really is about is just creating opportunities for yourself to experience joy, pleasure, fulfillment, contentment, happiness. You've got to at least give yourself the opportunities. And when you're so deep in it, when you're so far in the tunnel, you're not going to experience the immediate benefits of your actions, right? And that's the hard part because you have to keep going. You just do.
Yeah.
But over time, you're doing it for your future self.
And it's hard because depression just kind of like perpetually creates more depression. And
Yeah.
so, just focusing on those little things and just watching that expand, I think is great advice. And then
Yeah.
so once people, start experiencing that love again, that
Yeah.
flirtatiousness again, that
Hmm.
curiosity, how do people flirt if they've never really flirted before? Like is there like a structure, like a go-to, like a
Mm.
thing they can say, something easy or simple for them to try?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, right, everyone has an inner flirt. I truly believe that. I guarantee you flirted before, even if maybe you didn't realize it. I hope a lot of what we've been talking about thus far has been helpful in just helping you connect to your own inner flirt, your own flirt energy. And if you feel like if you've never flirted before, you feel like you're not good at it, or you can't do it, or you just aren't sure what that looks like, it's just come back to connection. And right, ultimately, how do you like to connect with others? So, do you like to more observe, listen, and ask a few questions? Is it maybe easier for you to talk about yourself? And so you go into some storytelling kind of thing, but then pair that with a question as well. What situations or scenarios are more comfortable for you? You know, is it maybe a busier space with lots of people? So maybe you have more people to flirt with if you don't get overwhelmed by large crowds or noise. Would it be better if you're in a more intimate setting, you know, like a park or a small party or something like that? Could you bring a friend with you, like a wing person, a wingman, a wing woman, someone that can be there as your support system? How does making eye contact feel for you? Could you initiate the flirt non-verbally with some eye contact? If that doesn't feel safe or comfortable for you, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But you are going to have to initiate the flirt, the connection in some way by saying, hello, how are you? My name is. It could start there. Yeah. And so
Yeah,
I
if
think,
that's
yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
it's like starting with the basics. But when you're nervous, when you're anxious, when you feel like you're not good at something, when you're self-sabotaging being critical, when you're in the past or in the future, right? The basics go right out the window.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's such an underrated one, what you said, just like saying hello. Like, just saying hello to someone is
Yes.
such a great way to start. Like, I've oftentimes just been like, "Hi, I'm Nathan," and shake someone's hand,
Absolutely.
and a conversation starts. They're like, "Oh, yay, someone talked to me," and they go on and on and on. I don't have to do anything. I just
And
said,
you're
"Hi, I'm Nathan."
honestly,
Like,
yes, you're gonna stand out
yeah.
because most people are not even doing that.
No, they really aren't.
No.
And then to the wingman thing, I don't know what it is about being a wingman, but I am
Yeah.
so much more confident being someone else's wingman, like going around. And then like that
Mm.
gets me into my
Mm.
flirty energy because I'm like, oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
not for me, it's for them. So I'm like
Mm-hmm.
transferring the stakes of the consequence over to my friend because I'm not being rejected, it's them being
Yes.
rejected. Anyways, it's
Yes.
so much fun.
Oh, I
I
get
love
that
that.
experience as well. And so, yes, if anyone listening, you relate to that, be the wing person for a night out or an afternoon out or at a party, right? You can
Yeah,
get tons of flirt experience that way.
exactly. Just until you build that confidence, and then you're like, wait a minute, okay, maybe I can do this for myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
You ask your wing person, like, hey, come over, like, talk to me with this person. Or, like, can you introduce me to so and so? Or, like, go do some reconnaissance, right? Go see, like, you know, maybe
Exactly.
are they with somebody? Do they have a ring on or whatever? Something like that.
Yeah, have fun with it. Like, go
Yes.
make friends, just be girls, go out, have fun.
Yes. Have
Um,
fun with it.
so I have a fun question that I want to end this
Hmm.
with. Like, I think
Okay.
we've gone through all kinds of different conversations. I loved the depth and the tangibles of all of this.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious if you've ever used your flirting powers for evil or to
Uh-huh.
like get out of an awkward situation. Yeah.
Nathan, how
Yeah.
could you possibly ask me that question? Never. Never.
Never?
No, all the
Is
time.
there even a way to do that? I'm like,
All the time.
I don't know.
No, I mean my big three. I mean Libra Sun. There's your gay Libra. Taurus rising, Scorpio moon. So there's your evil.
That's evil.
Yes, I mean, you can use the flirt for a little bit. I mean, we're not manipulating people, we're not leading people on, but you can use the flirt to gather some information if you really wanted to. And one way, like ultimately, like one way you're going to do this, like not necessarily intentionally, like you got to be really careful about not using the flirt for bad or evil. But so much about the flirt is just being charismatic. And to be charismatic isn't about being the funniest. It's not about being the smartest. It's not about being the hottest or the most attractive or the wittiest or anything like that. To be charismatic just means that you see the best in other people. You build
Mm,
other people up. Like in like when I'm in the flirt, I'm your hype person. I'm going to make you feel good about yourself because that's part of what I want to do. That's just part of who I am. I want you to leave the flirt. I want you to leave an interaction, a connection with me with a smile on your face. Maybe we laugh, right? We now have an inside joke. We have a new memory together. And doing that when people feel good about themselves, Well, they're going to like you. And when people like you, now if you need a favor in the future or you need something or you got a question or you need their help with something, they're more likely to be there for you because they like you. So is that me manipulating people or using the flirt for bad or evil? I don't think so specifically because that's not my intention.
Yeah.
And it never has been and it never will be. And anyone who knows me personally in my life knows that like I just that would be so that that just goes against me, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't have to
No,
manipulate people or coerce people or convince people to do anything they don't want to do. I don't have to do that.
no. And because by flirting, you're not forcing anyone to do anything you don't want them to
No,
do.
everyone has exactly. They have their own free will as well.
Yes. But by being flirtatious and charismatic, you're naturally influential. And so I
Yes.
think
Yes.
like if you want to be influential in your own life, I think this flirting thing just yeah, I think you're onto it.
Do
Just
it.
flirt. Flirt your
Yeah.
way out of depression, flirt your way to
Yes.
influence. Like
It's so true because like I like part of my training as city planner, right? I studied sociology in undergrad and like I'm just so interested. I mean, you know this from city planning, like our social networks have degraded and all but disappeared over time as we've re-engineered our lifestyles, as we've built our cities and our communities in very different ways to serve capitalism, to serve the car, right? To move people and goods as quickly and efficiently as possible. And so, whereas before, right, the person that was going to watch your kids, or very classic example, you needed to borrow a cup of sugar, you just went to your neighbor's house. You went to your neighbor down the street, like your church, your school, your job was a few blocks over. You caught the bus, the train, the streetcar, and you had, a 10-15 minute ride, something like that. Everything was very interconnected. And when your social networks are so interconnected, what that does is it provides safety. If something happened to you, a health scare or something like that, you fell on hard times financially, you had safety nets in place. Those safety nets are all but gone. Now you need to borrow a cup of sugar. Maybe you don't even talk to your neighbor. You don't even know them. You don't want to talk to them. So you get in your car, you drive to the grocery store, you get sugar, and you come back home. It's ridiculous,
yeah. No, I mean, I'm
right?
experiencing that right now. Like I'm going through like a weird shift in the place that I'm living and, my office
Yeah.
is switching up. And I brought it up to my friends immediately at dinner. Two of them were like, "Oh, you could use my office downtown or you can come
Mm,
over. We have a spare bedroom you can work out of." And I was
yes.
like, "What?" Like it's
This
and
this
to have that
flirting. Yes.
yes. I'm like, I'm just being myself, making friends and connection, and I
Yes.
forget how important that is for our safety to even to help us out of the doom and gloom of
Oh
life
my
right now. Just
gosh.
go out and be in community and put your
Yes.
phones down. So,
And to help us get out of this, right, especially here in America and a lot of more kind of like westernized countries throughout the world that have adopted more of that American style of development and economy, it's like we're so hyper independent. I don't need anything. I don't want anyone. I can do it all myself. I'm not asking for help. What this does, like it's not a flex, it isolates you,
yeah. Yeah,
right?
you
We
don't
got
need
to
it.
bring
But they
no,
don't need it, but
they
wouldn't
don't
life
need
be
it.
so much better if you did
Yes.
have those people?
With
Yes.
more
So,
connection and more flirting,
yes,
even.
absolutely.
Yes, by
All
the way,
right,
you have an
Benjamin.
amazing smile.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
You're see,
Mustache twins.
uh, mustache twins, yoga twins, planning commission twins.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
Well, you have a very, very calming and soothing voice. So
Oh,
thank you for you've helped
well,
put
thank you.
me at ease in my own show, and I appreciate that.
That's fantastic. I've been working on that. I've been working with a vocal coach for over 3 years.
What? No way.
Yeah. That was
Okay.
something I did very intentionally in my coaching journey when I first started, when I was going through one of my trainings with the Functional Nutrition Alliance. I like this story, so I'm just going to tell it really
Yeah, yeah,
fast.
yeah. You're good.
One of the lead teachers, creators, the founder of the program, Andrea Nakayama, she was she recorded all of her own lectures, right? All of her own presentations. A lot of it was audio. And I remember her saying in one of those that like at one point she got sick, like she lost something happened, she lost her voice or something like that, and when she lost her voice she couldn't work, like everything, her whole business stopped. And I was like, oh my god, I don't want that to happen to me. And also, she went into this like, there's so much you can do with your voice, with your tone, with your volume, with your cadence. Like, this is how you tell stories. And especially through a podcast like mine is audio only, like, your voice is everything. It's very intimate. You're in someone's ear for up to an hour. And so in that moment, I was like, all right, Benjamin, if you really want to do this, if you want to do the coaching, the podcasting, like I have ambitions to be on TV, all the screens, your voice is going to be one of your secret weapons and is going to be one of the things that you have to be like, take really good care of and has to be your signature, especially if you're going to teach yoga, which wasn't even on my radar at the time.
Right.
And to one of those universe things, like I open my phone, I open TikTok, the first video I see is a vocal coach. Nick Higgs, never seen him before in my life, never been fed any kind of vocal singing content ever on my FYP. And that was like, all right. So I sent him a DM and started working with him immediately.
And so are you like singing in those sessions, or are you like just practicing different vocal
No,
like
we're singing, but I am way too embarrassed
uh,
to sing for you right now.
oh, come on.
No, I'm not ready. I actually one thing like that singing for anyone other than Nick and myself still terrifies me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited to see your first singing video. I will just add, so
Yeah.
something that I've done in my professional development is I took a stand-up comedy class. And so we're next Wednesday, I
Yeah.
have my first stand-up comedy debut, and
Oh
I'm
my God.
so excited because coaching, I felt like it created like a very serious thing. I have to help people with their
Yes.
problems and their things and their traumas come up, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And I felt like I lost a little bit of my like silliness with everything.
Mm.
So this is a way to kind of bring that back. And I'm
Yes.
so excited. Yeah.
Congratulations. I relate to that as well. I'm looking for a very similar opportunity, and like the one I found where I live is on a night I work, and I can't do the improv class, but can I tell you my New Year's resolutions?
What is it? Yes, please.
To smile more, to get funnier, and to get hotter.
Oh my God. I
Right?
love that.
Which is
Yes.
really just about the micro habits, the day and day and like lifestyle things you're going to do to make that happen. It's really not about the resolutions. But I want to take an improv class because I also feel like I've lost a little bit of the whimsy and humor along the way, like wanting to just provide so much value and say the right thing and help people in their flirting journeys and with their dating lives. I create a lot of content for specific to dating as well. And sometimes it's a little too serious for my liking.
Right? Yes.
Yes,
And the whimsy, it's helpful. People like it. I've asked people in
they do.
sessions, like, is it okay that we joke about this? They're like, yes,
Yes.
please. Like, it helps
Because
me, it puts me at ease.
humor is healing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what days do you need to have your improv class be on?
Honestly, the only day that would work for me is Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
I have my part-time job Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday evenings until 10 p.m. and I teach yoga. Two of my classes are Monday and Thursday nights.
Okay. Because we
Friday
have
night.
an improv class on Friday in San Diego. So I think you need to
What?
move out to San Diego, maybe. I'm
But
kidding. We don't.
it's not
I'm
virtual.
just kidding. I'm
Oh,
just kidding.
damn. I was about to pack my
No.
bag and book my plane ticket. Friday nights work for me. I could fly out just for the class.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
All
meet
right.
you and we could have our
And
date.
yeah, we could do yoga and talk about city planning and how San Diego is built for cars and not enough for
Yeah.
people. But
And you could
yeah,
ask me those deep questions.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, we'd have one of those marathon first dates I tell people not to have.
Oh my God, that would be insane. No, no, no. But if we do, we should film it just so people can see.
Yes.
That's not,
What is it?
I'm
Everything. Yeah. Everything is content, whatever that acronym is. Everything is
yeah.
content.
So Benjamin, if people want to find you, how do they connect with you?
Well, luckily, I live chronically online, and you can find me everywhere and anywhere. I'm very branded. You can search my name, Benjamin Camras. Benjamin, just like you would spell Benjamin, Camras, Camras. The Flirtations Flirtcast is available Apple and Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you prefer YouTube, yes, I've got FlirtTube. That's YouTube. Flirtstagram. That's Instagram. Flirt Talk. That's TikTok. You can search my name, Flirt Coach. Anything flirt related, I'm here for you. I've got some freebies, some downloads, coaching is available. Yeah, I'm here for you. So if any of this resonated and you want to learn more and follow, just do it. Don't hesitate. Just do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Benjamin, everybody, thank you. Thanks for being here. And you had one
Well,
thing you wanted to say or share.
I just wanted to say, Nathan, thank you so much for having me on the Queer Conscious podcast, getting to talk with your listeners, and just for this opportunity. I'm really grateful. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to the Queer Conscious podcast, where we explore how love feeds us, heals us, and gives us life. I'm your host and queer love coach, Nathan Serrato. But remember that the conversations that we're having here today are not a replacement for working with a licensed therapist, professional coach, or mental health practitioner. These conversations are for entertainment and education purposes only. But if you are dealing with some big challenges and you're thinking about seeking some professional support, it is one of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself. You can visit queerconscious.com for more information on how to do that. Now, if you love today's episodes and you want more episodes like this, I need your help. Please leave a 5-star rating and review. That's going to help me to bring you more high quality content and interviews. So until then, take care of yourself and don't forget to let love in.